Welcome back to Union Voices, the MEU Berlin Podcast. I'm your host, Tabea, and today we have the privilege of speaking with Nadine Schön, member of the German Bundestag, and also a prominent advocate for women in politics and modern governance. Her career and her role in initiatives like the Women's Union in the Bundestag and the Neustaat Project make her an interesting and a key voice in shaping the future of governance in Germany and Europe. In today's episode, we will dive into two key areas, the journey of breaking barriers for women in politics and also the innovative approaches of governance reform that her Neustaat project bring about. From her personal experiences, we will explore these challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. So a warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us today. We're very excited to hear about you, hear about your insights and your perspectives on these topics.
Yeah, hello from my side, and I'm very happy to be here and very happy that you host the MEU this year in Berlin. So, and first of all, I want to apologize for my bad English. I hope it's good enough to understand me.
It's perfectly well to understand, yes. Great. Maybe let's start with a very brief introduction of yourself. Who are you? What have you done so far for anyone who may not be familiar with you?
Okay, I'm Nadine Schön, I'm member of the German Parliament. I studied law and grew up in a village in a rural area in Saarland, which is one of the 16 Bundesländer we have in Germany. And when I was 21, I have been elected to the state parliament in Saarland. And at that time, I was the youngest member of parliament all over Germany. And 5 years later, I became a member of the federal parliament. And now, since 16 years, I'm working on topics like education, research, science, and also female empowerment. And now we have a new election in March, but I won't run for another campaign. So it's the end of my political career for now.
Okay. Well, thank you for that introduction. What made you want to go into politics when you started?
I started in the age of 15. And as I mentioned before, I lived in a small village, and it was pretty boring there. So together with my friends, I decided to change things. So we campaigned for a youth room and for a basketball field and a soccer field, and we organized rock concerts and things like that. And after 1 or 2 years, we campaigned for having public transport during the night to be able to go to the next town and go to the pubs and bars and clubs and have a safe travel home at night. So it was very, they were the everyday topics that interested that I campaigned for, and I wanted to make a difference and change something, and that worked. So then I was politically active.
That's very beautiful to hear. So we said our first topic would be women in politics. So how was your experience as a woman going into politics? Do you think it was different from maybe a man's?
Yeah, you still have differences between women and men in politics, because men are very clever to build their networks and to promote each other. And you often promote people who are similar to you. So it's very clear that in a field where you have many men, it's harder for women to make their way. And that's what was also my experience when I was very young. I said, okay, I don't need any quota because I'm good. I'm well educated. I can speak for myself and go my way. But during the years, you see that there are structures which are better for people who are very likely to each other. And in politics, it's a pity, but it's still very male. So for me, it was always okay, and I always loved what I do. But I also always fought for having more women in politics and for changing the structures we are working in, because I think it's very important that men and women, both of them, build our future and are in politics and do it together. So I always fought for better representation of women in politics.
Mm-hmm. I also think that's a very important topic to also see women in high positions growing up, to see women in important positions in politics, so that you, as a girl growing up, you know, oh, this is something that I can do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You have to have that role models and good examples, and also women you can speak to and ask questions, and having mentorships. I think that's very important.
A colleague or a friend of mine recently said that especially for women, it's important to have mentors and to make use of mentors and to grow their networks, because you said that before, that men tend to network everywhere and all the time. And I think this is something that women might still have to learn, or still have to do a little more.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Then also about women in politics, maybe. So in Germany, for the longest time now, you had a woman as chancellor, so Angela Merkel. Do you think that made a difference for women in politics, to see that that role was a woman?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very important that girls see on the highest position of our country is a woman, and she does her job very good, and she was the most powerful woman of the world. And this is it's very important to see, okay, you can get there, you can be there, and you can even be better than every man.
Yeah.
So you again, you have that role model topic. I think it's very important to see such good examples.
Yeah. Maybe if you're looking into the future, if you're talking about young people, or especially young women who want to go into politics, what advice would you have for them?
I would say to them that it's very important to let your self-doubt behind, because women tend to be more have more self-doubts than men. Find mentors, build networks, and just have fun and try to reach your goals. And that's always a good motivation. So just do it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for that. So coming to our second topic today, the future of governance, or your Neustaat Project. Would you want to give a brief overview of that?
Yeah, it's a project we started in 2019, and we published a book in 2020 during the Corona pandemic. But it wasn't about Corona, it was written before, and in the first days of Corona, in the first weeks. And it addresses the need for fundamental reforms in Germany's political and also in the administrative system. And we had more than 100 practical proposals to make the state more efficient and more data-driven and more agile.
Yeah.
So we saw that it's the way we work today in administration and in politics. We are not good enough to face the big challenges we have, like digitalization, like globalization, like climate change. So we have to get better and faster. And in our current system, we won't get better and faster. So we need structural reforms. And the Neustaat initiative was the first initiative who had that proclamation of a state reform. And nowadays, even our president hosts an initiative and says, okay, we need a state reform. So I'm a little bit proud that we've been the first ones who said it, and we had concrete proposals, and some of them we realized to bring them to law and to initiatives in parliament. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
We need more.
Okay, yeah. But so there have been successes, but there's still more to be done.
Yeah.
Do you think that a project or an initiative like that would also work or should be thought about when it comes to the European Union as a whole?
Yeah, many of them, because the European Union has similar problems as Germany. Also in the European Union, we are too slow, we are too complex, we have too much regulation, which drives you crazy, but isn't able to handle the problems and face the challenges. So even in the European Union, we have to change our structures and reform our political and administrative system. And one topic which is very crucial to me is that we need to move towards data-driven and output-oriented political management. So we are always discussing about how much money goes in an initiative, how many people work on an initiative, how many how much input do you have? And we have to come to a system which focus on the output of your political doing. So it doesn't matter how much you put in it, it's much more important how much comes out. And you have to this is a totally the other way around, that we manage political initiatives today, and I think we have to change it fundamentally. And in a data-driven, digitized world, it's much easier to do that and to measure your doing and your work with data. And this could be a good initiative for the young generation which grows up in a data-driven and digitized world.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
So for you.
What often happens with such big scale reforms or projects is that there's a lot of resistance because things have always been the way they were, and it's hard to change things so fundamentally. How do you go about that?
I think you have to start. You have to start with with small initiatives, and then you have the proof of concept that it works. And this is the one thing, just start with small initiatives. And the second is you lead political leadership, because if you want to have big reforms and change things fundamentally, you have on the top of an organization, you have someone saying, okay, I wanted to change. And even if you make mistakes, and even if there are things that don't run well, it's okay. It's okay that you make mistakes, and we try it again, and we try it another way around, but staying on the changing nothing would be even worse. So
that's true.
You need those two things: political leadership and political willingness, and the willingness to start and try something out. And that's very important.
Maybe to tie the two topics together, it's the same, just do it. Just start somewhere, and you will likely fail, and then you do it again.
That's right. And it's easy to say, but it's hard to do. And in our democracy, you also have the media, you have the opposition, you have your political congruence, and everyone says, oh, okay, she or he did a mistake and he failed, and it's a bad thing. So we have to shift our mindset as a society, and be able to make mistakes and learn from them. We established what's the sentence or the learning state. The saying learning state. We want to have a learning state and a learning administration and a learning political system. And even our federal ministry, Annalena Baerbock, she took that expression in her book and in her initiative. So learning state is something from our book, which is now everywhere in the political discussion. And it's good. I think we need it.
That is great. So maybe to come to a close, is there anything you would like to still say? You would like to share with our listeners?
I'm so happy that there are young people who want to change the world and engage in a political system. And I think the Model European Union project is absolutely great. So I wish you all a good time in Berlin and in Germany. And I hope that many of you are going to be active on a political level as a member of parliament, working in administration, working in a political initiative, whatever. But we need you to have a better future. So thank you very much for your time and your engagement. It's very great.
Thank you. And thank you for your time today and also for your work. So Thanks for this conversation, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.